Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, good sir, good ma'am, good gentleman, good lady, ladies, children, listen up. It is Astros live play-by-play time for the Houston Astros once again under the authority of the dome, baby. We all live on the flat earth field, the flat earth diamond, the flat earth baseball field covered by the Houston Astros. It doesn't matter if you're a Mets fan or a Dodgers fan or a Cubs fan. It doesn't matter. You are under the authority of Houston Astros around here. That's right. Welcome in. We had a day off yesterday. It was nice. I didn't do too much as far as content here. I did take time to make a video about Yordan, simply because that's important. I think that a lot of people don't realize just how important it is. I just showed a couple of clips of Yordan smacking the ball and putting the hurt on various pitchers. If you haven't had the chance to listen to my YouTube short, it's actually almost 3 minutes long. If you're wondering why I posted it as a short rather than a widescreen video, it's because it actually turned into a much longer video than I thought it was going to be. When I did all the research and put the script together, sat down and recorded it, I realized a couple of things. Number one, I really wasn't feeling well yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I'm still not feeling as good today, but I feel like I've been able to manage it a little better. I've got 2 fans on me right now. I've been having some pains over here, some pains over here. I've been having some hot flashes, slight feelings of nausea, and some pains in my head and stuff like that. These are all bad signs for somebody with the conditions that I have. So I have to be very careful. There's kind of a certain threshold. Once I get to that threshold, I should go to the emergency room. So we've also been under a heat wave the past couple of days. And I will say that although it still doesn't get quite as hot out here where I'm at, I'm in a good location, thankfully. But I don't have an air conditioner. I only have fans. So I did struggle a little bit. But last night when I was first able to go to sleep, I did sleep for about 5 hours. And then I thought maybe after that I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep, but I just felt so terrible. So I repositioned my fans really close to me. I tried to make myself as cold as possible, and that really helped. So I was able to get back to sleep and sleep for several more hours. But yesterday was a really difficult day. So I didn't get too much done in the way of video. I wrote some of my book, but even that, I was hoping to finish a chapter in my novel yesterday, but I wasn't even able to do that. I was only able to finish about a third of the chapter. Today I'm going to be fasting. I'm not going to be eating. I just can't be bothered with cooking and eating today. I think that my body really needs... I mean, I don't know if I want to say sad to say, or it's difficult to say, but it's true. I think that if I don't fast right now, I'm taking away the best opportunity my body has to get better. So I'm gonna stick with my electrolyte drinks, and I'll have a little bit of coffee, not too much. And that's pretty much it for today. No eating is planned for today. But we're back in Dyking Park in Houston for Game 1. The Astros finally back at home from this road trip. I think we've got about 10 games at home right now coming up. Something like that. Are you talking about the Rockies picture? He's kind of like a mountain man. He's like a man made of Colorado Rockies. Is that who you're talking about, Jay? You're talking about the Rockies pitcher? Supposed to be kind of like a half man, half mountain, half Colorado Rocky. But yes, Yordan is back. Bubba MF Ford, welcome back. Good to see you here. Mark Bryant, what's up with you? Good to see you. J. Paul, hello. Of course, good to see you. Yes, that's right. Astros lineup gets one step closer today with Yordan back. If we had Jake Myers in there, how nice would that be? I'm kind of surprised to see that they put Yordan fourth. That means he won't have the opportunity to hit in the first inning unless we get base runners. But I'm hopeful we can get a base runner today, so I think we'll see Yordan in the first. What do you think? I want to do a simple poll for today. This is a very simple poll today. I'm going to ask about Yordan getting a dinger. There we go.
I'm so excited to have him back. Are we excited? Didn't hear it from the crowd right now.
Well, I definitely need to change that to my headset. You guys can hear that, right? Julia is talking to Joe Espada right now. That was nice. Alvarez came off the field from warming up there, and he waved at the crowd. That's nice. You know, a lot of times whenever the crowd is cheering for the players and they're coming off the field, they just ignore the crowd like they're not even there, right? Jake's rehabbing with Sugarland tomorrow. That's right, J. Paul. I'm kind of surprised. I really thought Jake would be back before Yordan. But the Astros lineup today, let's take a look at it right quick, even though the Astros are going to be on the field first. Jeremy Pena is first at shortstop. Batting second, Carlos Correa at third base. Batting third, Jose Altuve, DH. Yordan Alvarez playing in left field, batting cleanup. That's two surprises for me. Not only is he playing in left field, he's also batting fourth. Two surprises for me with Yordan today. Batting fifth is Christian Walker at first base. Batting sixth is Jesus Sanchez in right field. Batting seventh is the Batman Caratini, Victor Caratini, who's also catching. Batting eighth is Mauricio Dubon at second base. And wrapping it all up in the ninth slot is Blade Rogers, Jacob Melton in center field. You know, this lineup overall is not bad. The weakest link, in my opinion, is Melton. Hope Sanchez continues to make lots of contact today. We need him not only to be hitting and driving in runs, but also hitting the bombs. You know what I'm saying? Just how amazing would it be? I mean, look at the guys we got in the lineup. Pena is an all-star already. Correa is already an all-star. Altuve's an all-star. Yordan's an all-star. We've got several other guys who could get hot and play like all-stars. Walker, Sanchez, Caratini, Dubon, Jake Myers coming back. If Jake Myers were in this lineup instead of Melton, I would really, really like this lineup. If Myers is in this lineup today and Melton is not, and I know we have Diaz as an alternate to Caratini, but honestly right now I'd rather have Caratini in the lineup for a couple of reasons. Not that Diaz is bad. It's just that Caratini gives us more options, and I feel like he helps to make it more difficult for the opposing teams to select their pitchers. But with Jake Myers in the lineup instead of Melton, if I were to see this lineup, I would think, man, this is one of the best lineups I've seen in a long time, and one of the best lineups in the MLB. It's just how I feel. Put aside the fact that they've been pretty cold up until recently, when the bats finally woke up. But when they're playing, when every one of these guys is playing to their potential, every one of these guys you see here, the Astros lineup is pretty darn dangerous. Hunter Brown running onto the mound now with Victor Caratini at home plate. We are just moments away from the first pitch. There comes Alvarez, baby, heading out to left field. What a great day. Hunter Brown on the mound, Caratini behind the plate, and Yordan back in left field. Crispy, get out of here with that nonsense. I'm going to put you in timeout for 10 seconds for saying that. The Lion says, H&B is a supplement I take. It's a naturally occurring anti-catabolic metabolite. Great for calorie deficits. Maybe worth the research. Well, I don't have a calorie deficit. I've been eating a very decent amount, a good decent amount of calories actually, but I'm going to stop eating so I can fast and let my body go into autophagy. I've just got too many blockages and debris in my body. Tyler Freeman is going to be the first batter to face Hunter Brown, followed by Mickey Moniak and Hunter Goodman. So we're going to have Hunter versus Hunter today. Hunter Goodman versus Hunter Brown. And I have a feeling that Brown is going to deliver. Because when Brown says, what can Brown do for you? You say strikeout, baby. Strike him out, ground him out. You know what I'm saying, yo? You know what I'm saying? Word up. I even changed my background lights to an orange color as a special tribute to Yordan Alvarez today. I haven't had a chance to change my video that plays in the background though, my background screen. That'll take a little more time to work out, but I'll get on it. Hunter Brown is ready and on the mound. First pitch of this series is on the way. Here it comes. Right in there, strike one, 96 miles an hour, 0-1. Hunter Brown wastes 0.0 time. Hey, Brendan, good to see you. Hello, Nightbot. Ken Starks, the moment we've been waiting for. Welcome back, Ken. Good to see you. Here's the pitch, the 0-1. Low, just a tad low. 1-1 to Freeman. I see Freeman on the screen, and I think Freddie Freeman. But Freeman was traded, was he not? Away from the draft Dodgers. Here's the next pitch. This is grounded off his foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 95 mile per hour stinker. Shrewdly says that Yordan had 4 doubles in rehab. Seems like his doubles go to left field a lot. I'm calling Crawford boxes. That's a good call. You're a smart man. You're paying attention. You're paying attention. That's one of the reasons why I gave the choice, right? Instead of just saying yes or no, he homers or he doesn't. I decided to make it a little more challenging. If he does homer, I want to see how many people get the location correct. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Hunter Brown starts off with a foul tip miss on the outside and a nice cutter. A 4-pitch strikeout. Beautimous is the word I'm looking for. Absolutely beautimous. Mickey Moniak comes to the plate, a lefty, batting .256 but .210 on the road. Here comes the pitch. Oh, that's crushed to right field, but whoo, man. That line drive was crushed, but right into the glove of Sanchez, who happened to be playing very deep. He caught it on the warning track right in front of the wall. Man, that was destroyed. Luckily, it was just a line drive. If he had some lift on it, that would have been gone on the very first pitch. 2 up and 2 down with 5 pitches. Hunter Goodman. Now it's Hunter versus Hunter. There is an anime in Japan called Hunter x Hunter. So this is the real life version of Hunter x Hunter. Hey, Fox at Bat, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Here comes the first pitch to Goodman. Fouled off, 96 on the inside. Crispy wants to know, if his hand was so injured, then why are they playing him in left field? What was the actual injury? It was never clear to me. Well, I'm surprised too to see him playing out in left field, honestly. That's the bigger surprise. I thought they would be I'll get it out right in just a second. Here's the pitch. Woo! On the inside, strike 2. Nice pitch by Hunter Brown. 0-2 is the count. I feel like putting him batting 4th is kind of strange. I thought they'd put him 3rd, but putting him in left field actually in the game, that's even more surprising to me. Low and outside. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, Crispy. Bubba says he was handling business over there. Yes. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss outside. Look at that. Nice. Another beautiful strikeout for Hunter Brown. And in just a few pitches, about 10 pitches, Hunter Brown has 2 strikeouts and a line out to start the game. Good start. And they are hurting my eyes with a stupid commercial about Shohei Ohtani's dog. I do think it's kind of foreboding, though, because they end this commercial with the dog saying, you know, I wonder if he's going to let all that success go to his head. So they make it sound like the dog is going to be corrupt, but I think it sounds more like they're talking about Shohei Ohtani. So, Hunter Brown with 9 pitches so far this game, 7 strikes. That's right. That's the kind of first inning you like to see, Mr. Framber Valdez. Yes, sir. I'm looking at you, Framber Valdez, because, you know, Framber definitely watches my broadcast. So, Framber, pay attention. Take notes on what Hunter Brown is cooking. I absolutely agree, Brendan. I hope the umpires are pretty good today. So far, so good. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. How you doing, big man? Hope things are well. Thank you so much, Patrick. Yesterday and last night, we're not so good. It's I don't know if it's because of the weather or what, but I was getting really close to going to the hospital. I just wasn't sure if I was dealing with a moment or dealing with a threshold to something much worse. But, you know, right now I'm kind of stabilized. Thank you for asking. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. Glenn, quietly wandering. Friend of mine, IRL. He says, morning, Mr. B. I'll be in the background unloading that trailer I mentioned the other day. Have a good call. I like the emoji there. Looks like you're really going to enjoy it. Sarcasm intended. Pena at the plate takes the first pitch way outside from Tanner Gordon. 7.11 ERA. And today we look to tan Tanner's hide. You know what I'm saying? 83 right in the middle of the zone there on the slider. Fouled off by Pena. 1-1 is the count. Thank you very much, Glenn, by the way, and enjoy the unloading that trailer. I mean, I know that that's no fun. Just a little bit of stuff that I did yesterday felt like I was unloading a trailer all day long. That's That's what kind of shape I'm in. But best of luck to you, bud. This is bounced to the shortstop, who fires over to first and gets Pena for out number 1. 3-pitch bounce out for Mr. Gordon. Fox at bat. 3 days of weekend with the family. I'm back. That's nice. Where did you guys go? Did you go out of town somewhere? Go do something fun? Carlos Correa. South Korea at the plate, baby. The flash is down. Very first pitch, Correa liked it. He went after it at the bottom of the zone. Misses that slider for the first strike. 0-1 is the count. Robert Garcia, welcome in. Good to see you. How's it going with you? Good to be in the chat. Let's get the good vibes going. Absolutely. A little low. Ball 1, 1-1. We absolutely need the W. 1 ball, 1 strike to Correa. 1 out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the first. Ooh, that was a nice pitch on the very bottom of the zone. Strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Ken wants to know what the COVID situation is over here in Japan. I haven't really heard anything about it recently. I think there was some type of uptick several weeks ago, and some of that was coming out of China. But what's interesting is that I always see a lot of news about people getting sick and having problems in China. I have a few news sources that are very good, plus my friends in China. And then always after that, that's low and outside. The count's even 2-2. But always after I see this news and I hear about this news, I always hear China and Chinese, like the loyalists, you know, the nationalists. Korea fouls that one off. 94 on the inside. The count stays 2-2. But anyway, the nationalists start chiming in and blaming Japan for it. They say tourists from China are coming back from Japan with COVID. But I don't hear anything around here about there being a COVID problem. Correa fouls it off again. The count stays 2-2. Gordon is now up to 9 pitches, so he's going to have to get at least a 10 before he can face anybody else. I appreciate that, Lynn. Thank you so much. Hope you feel better. Absolutely. Right field hit. There we go. Correa has a really good at-bat there. Forces Gordon to throw several pitches, fouls him off, gets an opposite field hit to first base side. Nice little line drive. That brings up my hero, Jose Altuve. Now, the cool thing here is, if it works out as planned, Altuve, whether he gets out or gets on base, it gives Yordan an opportunity at the plate with runners on in the first inning. So Altuve pops up the very first pitch, but luckily it goes out of play. Michael Fontenot, welcome in. Thank you so much. Let's go Stros indeed. Ken says, I can't remember his name, but the guy always holding a bat while talking baseball says his current lineup is the most dangerous in the league. Or this lineup. It's like a podcaster or video guy always holding a bat. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Altuve takes the next pitch low and outside. It's 1-1. Fox at bat says 3 days at the beach, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That sounds awesome. I have never been to Mexico, but I would like to go one day. There are many places that I'd like to go. Here's the next pitch. Wow, ripped foul, line drive, hard, very hard. Down the left field line, into the net. That would have been into the corner for sure. He hit that so freaking hard, he might not have been able to make a double out of it. Come on, Altuve. You the man, bro. Yeah, me too, Brendan. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Altuve. Inside. Altuve looked like he was really ready to swing, but went up inside. He pulled back. The count is even, 2-2. Correa on first base. Altuve at the plate. 1 out. Yordan on deck. Here comes the toss. In the dirt. Bounces away. Correa walks back to first base. Full count. Lynn says, go Stros. Indeedly doodly. Go Stros. Let's win this, yos. Since Glenn is listening in while he's unloading stuff, I should make regular references to that. Maybe I should make an unloading song. Instead of just the coffee song. Here comes a full count pitch to Altuve. He pops this one up. Is it going to be in play? Yes, it is. Goodness gracious, to the catcher. Full count. Altuve works it all the way to the full count, and he pops it up. Yordan comes to the plate for the first time in over 3 months, guys. It's been like more than 3.5 months. Air Yordan, baby. Welcome back indeed. Here we go. Yordan at the plate for the first time since May 2nd. Here's the pitch. Outside, 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Let's see if Tanner Gordon is scared to death. Can you imagine being this pitcher? First time Yordan is back and you're the guy that's got to pitch to him. You don't want to break down, do you? Correa is on first base with 2 outs. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Yordan. 85 miles an hour low and outside check swing. They say he did not go. Yeah, you're right, DeLion. I was really hoping that he avoided the double play. Even if he got out, as long as it's not a double play. Absolutely, you're right. 2-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside again. Look at that. Already, it's caused him to not pitch in the zone. Doesn't it bring back memories of how pitchers used to pitch to Yordan when they would not really pitch it in the zone? Here comes the 3-0. Outside, they walk him. 4-pitch walk. Well, in a way, you could say that basically it's just like how it used to be. Things are just like they used to be, are they not? A 4-pitch walk around the zone, just kind of putting it out there where he might be able to get to it, but not dangerously close. And that brings up Christian Walker with 2 runners on. First pitch to Walker on the way. He lifts that one straight up into the outfield. He didn't straighten it out. He could have gotten a homer there. But he sends it to the right fielder for out number 3. But 1 hit for the Astros with Correa, 2 runners left on. You know what? But what just happened here? What just happened here is a perfect example of what I was explaining in my short video that I made about why Yordan's presence matters so much. Whenever they have him in the lineup, it causes the pitchers and the managers to do things a little differently. And that creates more opportunities for the other Astros. And what we just saw in the first inning is a perfect example of that. Now, granted, we didn't take advantage. Walker flew out. But I'm telling you that for those of you who don't know this, okay, and you don't see what I do sometimes when I do a little bit of data research. I mean, I'm not sitting here all day long every day doing data research. I can't do that anyway because of the DVT that I had in my leg a couple of years ago. I had a blood clot in my leg, so I can't stay sat in a chair for a really long time. I need to get up and move around during the games, and during the day I can't stay sat at the computer. Sometimes I have to do a lot of different things to kind of keep the blood flowing. But I can tell you this: there are times where I just kind of get a wild hair. And when I get that wild hair, I start doing some research. And I decided to do a little bit of research about how the Astros perform with Yordan in the lineup. And on average, now I had to do some digging over the past couple of years in order to get this data, because I wanted a healthy Astros lineup with Yordan in it. A healthy Yordan. So a healthy Yordan and a healthy Astros lineup versus a healthy Astros lineup generally without Yordan. And I wanted to look and see what is the run differential. With Yordan in, it's almost one complete run per game, additional on average. How awesome is that? Here's the pitch from Hunter Brown. He's facing Jordan Beck. That's up and in, 93 miles an hour, ball one. But here's the thing. Yordan is not hitting in a run every game. It's just his presence and causing the pitchers to adjust and the managers to adjust which pitcher is in the game. 81 miles an hour on the inside. The knuckle curve gets the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Beck. Hunter Brown has the count tied. But what we just saw with Yordan getting that 4-pitch walk, that is a perfect example of the Astros getting more opportunities just because Yordan's in the lineup. And that's the one thing that nobody was talking about. Nobody was talking about that. This is what we mean when we say a hitter provides protection for the other hitters. And that's the main benefit of having Yordan Alvarez in the lineup. Way up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Robert says, the morning show with Robert Flores and DeRosa and some lady that talks baseball. Ah, okay. I guess that's the guy with the bat. Is that what you're talking about? There we go. Look at that beautiful knuckle curve in the dirt. Jordan Beck goes after it. Look at that. Nasty. He couldn't help himself. He went digging. That ball bounced off the plate. Out number 1 and strikeout number 3 for Hunter Brown. And now Brenton Doyle is at the plate. Here comes the toss. Up high, 96 miles an hour, ball 1. Yordan. Yeah, he's scared all right. The pitcher, that's the thing, that a lot of the pitchers are like that. Some of them get the snooty nose and they try to say, I can take this guy, and then he takes him deep, 95 in the top of the zone, fouled off. 1-1 is the count. Crispy said he saw the first home run, first career homer in 2019 with Yordan. That's nice. That's a special memory. I like that. Thanks for sharing that, Crispy. Yeah, and that was a buzzkill by Walker, but it's okay. This is hit into center field, but Melton is able to float back and grab. Hey, look at that. Melton is no longer Blade Rogers. Did somebody get word to him? He is no longer part of the adult baseball player club. Blade Rogers has left the industry. He has decided to go back to corporate life, guys and gals. Blade Rogers is no more. He is now just regular old salaryman Jacob Melton. He shaved off the stash. He betrayed us all. I wonder if Brian King is upset about that. First pitch to Ezekiel Tovar is a knuckle curve above the zone for ball 1. 2 down. Another strikeout and a fly out for Hunter Brown. He's up to 18 pitches. Here comes the 19th. That's grounded straight to Pena, who scoops it up and fires it over to first. But the throw over there is a little off the bag. However, Christian Walker is able to make the tag and get the out. So a little bit of good first baseman. Baseman's. How would you say that? Baseman. Yeah, first baseman. A little bit of good first baseman by Christian Walker. I just coined a new term. Let's see here. Uncle Joe wants to know how was Yordan injured earlier this season to begin with? I'm with DeLion on that. I think it was a stress fracture, and he played with it actually for a while. And by the way, I did post a little bit of an article Maybe I can share this with you guys, and you can understand why Yordan got hurt. Maybe you heard earlier this season that Yordan played for a while his hand was hurting, and of course you know that he wasn't doing very well. And for us Astros fans who've been here since the beginning of the season, you know that Yordan, when he did play, he wasn't doing very well. And then we found out that he was actually playing with pain. Well, this morning, it just so happens that I was reading an article where they were talking with Yordan, and they discussed this playing that he did earlier this year. Now check this out. He said that there have been times before where he's had some pain in his hand or his hands, and it's just kind of normal. He just keeps playing and it goes away, because that's, I mean, and I understand that. I understand that. Anybody who's not or has not played a sport, if anyone who's not an athlete who has played a regular sport, maybe they can't understand that. They think, well, if you're hurting, why would you play? Well, because there are different types of hurt. There are types of hurt that go on and on and on. Uh-oh, look at this, the very first pitch. Are you kidding me? Jesus Sanchez goes deep on the very first pitch by Tanner Gordon. Look at that, Sanchez. And he points out to the bullpen. He's the first one to put some runs on the board for the Astros with the very first pitch off Tanner Gordon. First hit at home in the Astros uniform. Yordan smacks him in the head. Craig gives him a little smack. Jesus Sanchez. Jesus Sanchez. Beautiful. Victor Caratini is now up at the plate. 1-0 Astros. That's in the dirt for ball one. Jesus. 93 low and outside, but in the zone. Strike one. 1-1. Here's a pitch. Low and outside again, this time too far outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Batman. It's interesting for us to have back-to-back lefties, right? Let's go, Batman. Wow, he rips that one Altuve style into right field, right into the net. Nice strong line drive. Lean back, son. Yep. Here's a pitch. Wow, 94 just below the zone. Called strike 3. You can see that, well, that's the homer by Sanchez. He just crushed it. Boom. He knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. Mauricio Dubon at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. He fouls this one off on the right side for strike 1. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Paredes was like the king of driving up the pitch count. He was really a big help with that. Here comes the pitch. Way outside. Yeah, that's the thing, Crispy. Whether Yordan is in a slump or not, he's still Yordan Alvarez. So he forces them to come up with different game plans, and that makes it easier for the rest of the Astros hitters. Here's the pitch to Dubon. A little low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Doobie. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Right in there with the fastball, but fouled off again. 2-2 is the count. Shrewdly, says Milton, going for the reverse Samson. Reverse Samson. That's funny. Sanchez is Yordan Jr. Instead of 44, he's 4. That's funny. He's a mini-me. Dubon checks his swing. They say he did not go. Gordon is now up to 32 tosses. Doobie takes a timeout, steps out of the box. Next pitch is going to be his 33rd. 1 out, nobody on. Full count. Yeah, David, I agree. Hopefully we do get Myers back soon. Yeah, he absolutely has been having a stellar career. Here's the pitch. Hit high in the air on the infield. The second baseman is right underneath it. Puts it away for out number 2. Jacob Melton, the baseball player formerly known as Blade Rogers, comes to the plate. We'll see if the reverse Samson works. Like shrewdly says. Will it work when he shaves off the stash? The stash shave. Here's the first pitch. Hey, it does! Very first pitch. He goes all Sanchez on it, but that was a mini Yordan. Stayed in for a single. We got a runner on first base. Slider right in the middle. He took it to task. Took her to task. Can't even imagine having Paredes and Myers in this lineup. Yeah, how awesome would that be? A guy that forces a lot of pitches and another dependable 300-plus hitter. Speedster. Throw over to first base and Melton is back. Jeremy Pena is at the plate with his massive 840 OPS. It is down a little bit compared to where it used to be, but he's still batting .305 despite the slump. Here comes the next pitch. He rips it down the left side. That's foul. He says foul. Could have been a double for Pena. Let's see how close that was. Woo, man, it just curved foul. Ken says walked him. This is my surprised face. Here's the pitch. Low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pena. Come on, Flash. Let's go, Flash. There comes a 1-1. That one is fair. All the way out into left field. Probably going to be a single. Yep. The left fielder's able to get over there and stop it before it gets to the wall. Pena's on first. Melton is on second. 2-out magic going on right now. Oh, man. Can you imagine if we score a few runs and get back to Yordan with some bases loaded action? Good grief. Let's do it. I'm starting to get scared. On my screen right now, I see Carlos Correa at bat, Altuve on deck, and Alvarez in the hole. Oh. I'm salivating. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Come on, Correa. Work your magic, baby. We don't need much. You know what to do. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Yeah, he does. Ken Starks. Hunter does have a nasty knuckle curve. It is great. It's a powerful weapon. Yeah, Crispy, good problems to have. Everybody healthy. Paredes back. A little outside. Ball 2. Nice call by the umpire. He didn't bite on calling that edge. And we have other things, other players coming back. Other things to look forward to. Renel Blanco. Man, I can't wait to get Blanco back. He was a workhorse. Hey, Still Viper. Welcome in. Good to see you. 94 up and in. 3-0. 3-0 to Correa. What if he puts one right down the middle that's like a home run derby ball and Correa goes deep on it? Or is he just going to be taken all the way? Let's see. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. It's high. High and inside. 4 straight pitches. So he 4-pitch walked Yordan. He 4-pitch walked Correa. Now he's got Jose Altuve with bases loaded. Altuve flew out to the catcher, but he did work the count earlier up to full. And they're going to come out and talk. They don't like what's going on here. All we need right now is for Altuve to keep it going. This is another opportunity. The Astros are playing right now. So far, the Astros bats, the Astros pitching is working like it's built to. Working like it's supposed to. There we go. What's up with you, Steel Viper? I'm glad you came in early. Kind of exhausted, but I'll try to stay for the whole game. Hey, man, do your best. Just glad to see you here. It's Yordan's game back, man. I'm glad you're able to come in a little early. Thank you for your hard work. I know you've been working hard. You seem to be always working, always busy. Howdy, fish-eyed fool. Good to see you. Absolutely, Uncle Joe. We need multiple runs. Altuve has 7 grand slams in his career. Lucky number 8. That one's in the dirt. This place would go crazy. I think Yordan would start laughing if he stood on the deck right now. Because right now he's on deck. He's watching Altuve at the plate with 2 outs, bases loaded. If he hit a grand slam, Yordan, I think, would start laughing at that. Here's a pitch. This is hit hard to left field, all the way out. Is it going to drop? No! Caught on the run at the track. Altuve very close to dropping one in the left center field area. But we got 1 run out of that from Sanchez. The problem with that rally is it started with 2 outs. We had 2 outs and nobody on. Then we loaded the bases, and Altuve gave it a nice ride out into left center field, but the center fielder was playing over just far enough to catch it on the run. We go into the top of the 3rd. Astros up 1-0. Whew. Man. Oh man, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God. Do you guys know that terrible movie scene? All right. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to go out here and grab something. I'll be right back. Go STROS. Don't you goes anywhere. Alrighty then. I made it back before the first pitch. Unbelievable. No, I didn't. It just wasn't updated for some reason. Second pitch is in there for strike 2. So Hunter Brown starts off warming Bernabel. Mr. Bernabel? Bernabelle sounds like a girl's name. Bernabelle. Here's a 0-2 pitch, a little outside. Bernabelle, what are you doing out there with those gentlemen? You know that's unladylike. This is what it sounds like. Here comes the next pitch, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. There's that nasty knuckle curve we were talking about earlier. Another strikeout for Brown. How about that? 7 retired by Hunter Brown. 4 of those are Ks. 23 pitches and 16 strikes. That brings up Kyle Caros. Kyle Caros. Something like that. That's in there. Another knuckle curve, but right in the zone. Strike 1. 1 away, nobody on. Paredes in left field, no way. No way. Paredes would sooner be at first base. But if Walker is doing well, that's a strike, 0-2. If Walker is doing well, what do you do? Altuve in left field, and sometimes at second, sometimes just DH. This is hit up the middle, right into the gap. On the 0-2 count, Hunter Brown doesn't get the strikeout. Instead, he drops a pitch right in the zone, and that's the first pitch of the game. I mean, first pitch. That's the first hit of the game for the Rockies. There comes the pitch. 95 right in there. Ryan Ritter at the plate. Batting .256 this season. .213 on the road. 0-1 is the count with a runner on first. 1 out. Here comes a pitch from Brown. Here's the toss. That's inside. He breaks his bat. The toss to second. Pena tried to go to first. Are they going to say he's safe at second base? On the transfer, I think the runner hit Pena as he was trying to make the exchange. I'm not so sure about that. They're saying that the runners are safe on first and third. They're not going to review that. Okay, the runner hit Pena's glove and knocked the ball out, but it looked like Pena's foot was already off the bag before that happened. But the umpire says no, the ball came out, he's safe. So the runner went to third. Now they lay down the bunt, but it goes foul. Tyler Freeman now at the plate. That was a strange play. Broken bat to second base. Tossed to Pena. But when the runner hit Pena's glove as he was trying to exchange and throw to first base, it came out. It looked like his foot was already off the bag, so I feel like the runner should have been out. But the umpire called him safe. I'd like to go back and look at that again. Walker gets the ground ball at first base, but the runner at third scores. Caros crosses the plate on the tapper to first base. The game is tied 1-1. Runner on second with 2 outs. That was a very strange inning. I think they're going to charge Pena with 2 freaking errors. 95 miles an hour above the zone to Mickey Moniak. 1-0 is the count. There shouldn't have been a single error there, but they're going to charge 2 errors to Pena? That's what I heard. It's not on the screen yet, but that's what I heard. 96 above the zone, 2-0. So that runner is not charged to Hunter Brown. It's charged to Pena. This inning makes no sense. That whole play just broke my mind. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, low and outside on the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike to Moniak. 2 outs. Runner on second. Hunter Brown up to 28 pitches. 28 pitches, but 21 strikes. Here comes the next pitch. Nope. He comes off the mound, fakes a throw to second. I hope so, Brendan. No more Walker Geiner back-to-back in the lineup. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. Welcome in, Casey. Good to see you back. 98 on the outside edge. Strike 2. Good call by the ump. So far, the ump's calling pretty well. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Demoniac. Yeah, I mean, Altuve gave it a really nice ride, so can't be upset about that. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard into right field, and it'll be down for a hit. He's being waved around from second base. Here's the throw. It's way too late. 2-1, the Rockies are now ahead. So Mickey Moniak, the only left-handed batter in the lineup, smacks it into right field off of Hunter Brown and drives the runner in from second base, who was already off and running. With 2 outs, he had no reason to hold up. So the Rockies are now leading the Astros 2-1. And that's the first earned run for Hunter Brown. Both of those runs would have been on Hunter Brown if there hadn't been an error earlier charged to Pena. Here's a pitch. 97 high. Okay, now on the screen they're just showing 1 error on Pena. Just 1. So they debated it. No errors, 2 errors, 1 error. They settled on 1. I think it should be none, but that's just me. 0-1 to Hunter Goodman. Here comes a pitch from Brown. He's trying a steal at second base. They say got him. Dubon applies the tag really quickly. He thinks that he's safe. It was a really quick throw, but the throw was not in a good location by Caratini. They're going to challenge it. It didn't look like he was out, but the umpire called him out. We'll see. Dubon made a really good catch and tag. Yeah, he's safe. Dubon made a really good play on it, but I don't think it was enough to get him. We'll see. If it stands as called, that'll be the end of the inning, but if it's overturned, it'll be 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and runner on second. Whew, that's close. Still looks like he's safe, though. But I don't know. Do they think it's enough to overturn it? Is it clear? I have a feeling they're gonna overturn it, but I hope they don't. My heart says call him out. My brain says they might not. They might overturn it. We'll see. Yeah, Brendan, the first run in wasn't Hunter's fault. Well, luckily we don't make many errors, and Crispy, I don't even consider that an error on Correa's part, or Pena's part rather. I think they misjudged that as an error. Should not have been an error. Here's the call. Yep, they overturned it. He's safe. I thought they would. Runner on second with a 1-1 count to Hunter Goodman. Yeah, that's right, Travis. That's hilarious. Can you imagine us normies getting a blister at work and the employer says, look, you need to take a few months off, get better soon. Yeah, we need you to be at 100% and no less before you come back in because we can't risk you getting hurt again. Can you imagine being treated that way? And you get injured and you're not 100% for like 2 years, so you don't come back, but they keep paying you your full salary. Can you imagine that? I'm telling you, man, it's amazing. This is crushed to left field. That's gone. Absolutely gone into the Crawford boxes. No doubter. 4-1. Hunter Brown suddenly falling apart. So Hunter Brown has a really great first couple of innings, and here has just fallen apart. 3 hits. One of those a 2-run shot on the very first pitch after the break. So this is what happens sometimes when you slow down a game. You stop a game so long. Hunter Brown did take a few warm-up pitches, though. 4-1, the Rockies over the Astros. 97 on the inside to Jordan Beck. 2 outs, nobody on. Yeah, I will say that we don't really have to worry about their pitchers. I mean, their guys are very hittable. They've gotten lucky so far. But the Astros will come back. Trust me, we will win this game. I know it. Strike 1. 40 pitches now for Brown. He was doing so good, and then he just broke down. But at least he only has 3 earned runs. Here comes the toss. 96 high, 2-1. Yeah, Travis, they make a ton of money. Even the guys that are riding the bench, you know, they can make $1 million a year. People might complain about that. Oh, this guy, you know, he's one of the low guys that only makes $1.6 million a year. Well, I don't even make right now. I don't even make $12,000 a year, and that's serious. My health. It really sucks because the way the system is set up is my health isn't good enough to work. But there's also there's a lack of support available for me. So what am I supposed to do? Here comes the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Knuckle curve misses low, full count. You could take away 10% of the salary of one of these guys, and that's a ton more money than I will see in my situation, but it would change my life. Swing and a miss, low and outside. Strike 3, another strikeout for Hunter Brown, but not before he gives up a couple of runs. And by a couple, I mean 3 earned runs, and then one other one that was really his fault. I believe that these 4 runs should have been charged to Hunter Brown. I don't think that Jeremy Pena deserved an error on that play, but that's just my opinion. 4-1 at the end of the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. The Astros have 4 hits. The Rockies have 3, but it's one of those situations where the Rockies are being more efficient. 3 runs, 4 hits. Due up for the Astros, Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez with no runners on. Christian Walker after that, and then Jesus Sanchez. Sanchez with our only RBI today, his 2-run, or 1-run bomb rather. Yeah, Travis, it's a game. These are adult men. These are adult men playing a game. It's a childhood game. It's a game we learn in childhood and we play for fun. And they've taken it and turned it in. Well, it's no different than football or basketball or anything else. They take these sports and they turn them into these big things. I did see an article about this a long time ago that talked about why we do this. Like, first strike thrown to Yordan this entire game out of 5 pitches. Interesting, 44 pitches now to number 44. Here comes the toss. Yordan swings and fouls it off. The first swing, baby. 0-2 is the count. But they talk about how when there's nothing for men to do big, like war, you know, protecting the country, protecting their homes, then they got to do competitive things. 93 fouled off. Somebody told me one time that American football is the closest thing that men can do to having war without actually having war. I don't think it's quite that comparable, but I understand what he was trying to say. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the next pitch from Gordon. Alvarez takes that one low and inside for ball 1. An embarrassment of riches. Yordan hits this one pretty deep out to left field. That was pretty deep. Close to the Crawford boxes in the warning track there in that little nook. But caught for out number 1. That was close. That was close. That was close. 1 away. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Believe it or not, Christian Walker leading the Astros in RBIs. Here's the first pitch. 83 on the inside, strike 1. He calls timeout, steps out of the batter's box. Tanner Gordon up to 50 pitches with this next delivery. Absolutely, Sam. Let's get some runs. Yeah, in this game we should get no less than 5 more. Brendan, you're right. Here comes the pitch. This is crushed to left field, but just foul. Broke his bat. He brought him another one immediately. What's up, John? Good to see you. It's funny how Walker grabs a new bat, sprays something on it, and goes straight to the plate. If Altuve has to get a new bat, he gets some kind of sandpaper or something and scrubs the bat down. Completely different process. 50 pitches for Gordon. 1 out. 0-2 is the count to Walker. Here comes the toss. Right in the bottom of the zone, strike 3. Walker goes down looking. So he goes and he gets him another bat. And he looks totally lost. Totally indifferent to that. Isn't it funny? The look on his face. The look on his face was like he goes into a convenience store and he says, I'll take a pack of gum. And they say, we're sold out. And he just stands there thinking about it for a moment. Doesn't say anything, just chewing the old gum that he has in his mouth, and then finally walks away. That's the way Walker just looked. Jesus Sanchez back at the plate. First pitch in the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Sanchez with a homer. Is he going to jack another? Here comes the toss. Ooh, another one in the bottom of the zone. He called that a ball? Wow. I thought he was going to ring Sanchez up. That was an identical pitch to the last one. Shocking. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, that's right, Crispy. Just stared at it. This is hit hard to right field. Holy cow, he blasts that one, but it goes foul. Into the upper deck. Man, that one had home run written all over it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sanchez. But what Crispy said is what I was thinking. Walker got a new bat. Don't know why. Didn't even swing it. Just stared at strike 3. Here's the next pitch. Sanchez swings again, but this time the ball is way low, and he misses it. And that's strike 3, out 3. Nothing doing for the Astros. At least they got a little traffic in the first couple of innings, but in this inning it's 3 up and 3 down. Nothing doing. Hunter Brown back up on the mound in the top of the 4th with 44 pitches, 31 strikes. 3 earned runs, should be 4. The Astros are losing 4-1. We're down by 3. And I think I will pour myself a second cup of coffee. But should I play the coffee song? Where is my coffee song? There it is. Download a cup of coffee. That's right. That's true. I love the harmony they put in there. That's hilarious. Just good stuff. All right. We are back. The knuckle curve misses for ball 1. Brenton Doyle at the plate. He fouls that one off. 83 knuckle curve on the inside and low. 1-1 is the count. Hey, Daryl. My morning is going okay. Yesterday, last night, kind of rough. I feel like I'm trying to stabilize today. Sinker inside, ball 2, 2-1. But thank you for asking. I'm not going to lie, I didn't know if I was going to be able to be on today. Yesterday and last night I was wondering if I was going to have to go to the hospital, actually. Just wasn't feeling well. Right in the middle of the zone and hit out to center field. Melton is underneath it and puts it away for the first out of the inning. Brenton Doyle goes down for the second time tonight. Ezekiel Tovar comes to the plate next to face Hunter Brown. Crispy, remember earlier I put you in timeout for like 10 seconds. I'm going to put you in timeout for 1 minute now. Be more positive. Stop. Don't dump that negativity into the chat, please. Keep it to yourself. Here comes the next pitch. This is hit hard to left field, but right at Yordan. Hey, the big man puts it away. Good job. 2 away. 49 pitches for Brown. Warming Bernabel. That sounds like the name of a southern story, right? Warming Bernabel. Maybe it's about a southern belle. Swing and a miss, by the way, strike 1. Who becomes quite cold-hearted because some tragedies in her life, and just some guy wanders in from out of town, is able to break through that ice, bring her around to enjoy life again and trust again, love again. Warming Bernabel coming soon in fall of 2025. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bernabel. Would you guys go see Warming Bernabel with your girlfriend or your wife? Because I don't think that would be a man's movie. That'd be a chick flick, right? Hey, let's go see the new Marvel movie. No, I want to see Warming Bernabel. Well, okay, look at that. Strike 3. Didn't even have to throw a pitch. Timer violation by Bernabel. So Hunter Brown gets another strikeout courtesy of the umpire. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Nice. 3 up and 3 down for Hunter Brown in the 4th inning. Really quick. How about that? 51 pitches in 4 innings. Not bad. Bottom of the 4th coming up for the STROS. Who do we have coming up? Victor Caratini, the Batman, followed by Mauricio Dubon, and then the baseball player formerly known as Blade Rogers, Jacob Melton. Let's see here. Hashman says closed out the game when it said end of the inning. Didn't know they challenged that play. You're talking about the one earlier? The call at second base? Daryl says it's always a blessing to see you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. Are you trying to warm my heart like in the Warming Bernabel story? Well, it's working. You're getting to this Southern Belle's heart. Ross says SMH. Dang Rockies. Hey man, you know it takes a little time to get to the top. When you're climbing the Rockies, it takes a little time to get to the top, and there's going to be a little bit of challenge along the way. But once you get to the top, you can turn around and enjoy the view. You know what I'm saying? The Batman is at the plate. First pitch on the way. Opposite field swing on that 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Fouls it off. Come on, Batman. Let's do it. Do it, do it, do it. Yep. Ken says, I'm glad to see some of the farm guys come up and make some big money. I might as well. At least for a little while. I mean, even if they come up and they're just making like 1.1, 1.2 million a year, they go back down to the minors, they're still making that money if they have a contract. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Caratini. Opposite field cue shot, but Caratini is not a speedster, so he's able to throw him out at first. 1 down. The Batman, his grappling hook fails, and he falls to the ground. He's going to have to go into the bat cave to reconsider his strategy. Mauricio Dubon, Doobie-Doo, comes to the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. A little low, ball 1. Hashman, I agree. I think the Astros will win. It won't be same old, same old. We're going to win. The hitting cometh. Here comes the pitch. Dubon crushes it to left field all the way out to the Crawford boxes. Right off the wall. He's going to have himself a double. He's going to have to rush in there. He slides in. They call him out. Are you kidding me? He's sitting there, and he's gonna wait to see if they're gonna take a look at it. Man, Doobie put that one way out there, about halfway up the wall. The throw in. They called him out. He kept his hand on the base. And they're not going to challenge it. That's out number 2. But that is a hit. It's considered a single. Melton is at the plate, swinging a miss, strike 1. That's unfortunate right there. Doobie gets caught stretching at second base. Jack Frost. Starting to call Jack. Really? Low and inside. Yeah, it doesn't even look like him, does it? It looks like a completely different dude. But it's already growing back. That's the funny thing. It just wants to be there. Here's the pitch. He fouls it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, they definitely need to get some runs. But it's not too late. It's never too late. As long as there are outs remaining, it's not too late. Here's the pitch. 95 at the top of the zone. The umpire calls strike 3. Melton lets it go. He's dissatisfied, but it was close, my friend. It was right on the line. That's out number 3 and strikeout number 4 for Tanner Gordon. We go into the top of the 5th. Hunter Brown will be back up on the mound after a short inning by the Astros bats. Intense Blue Devil says, good evening, Go. My wife and Thomas Fitzpatrick told me about you. My wife is a huge fan of the Stros, but I'm here to show some love from a Red Sox fan man. Go Stros. Well, okay, yeah, I'm definitely not a Red Sox fan, but, you know, they've got a huge, long history. They are a baseball city for sure. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the kind words. It's interesting that your wife is a huge Astros fan and you're a big Red Sox fan. If you guys can get along, then you must have a really good relationship. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the subscription and the support. Go Stros indeed. Good luck to the Red Sox, except when they're playing the Astros. You guys took Bregman, but then again, I'm not unhappy about it. I'm glad we got Paredes, and now I'm glad that we got Correa. I really liked Bregman. I mean, he came from LSU, and I appreciated that. I went to LSU. Hashman, yeah, he might have had it, but it wasn't close enough to overturn, so they didn't try to challenge it. It was played well. You're right, Doug. It was played well by the field. Whether we like it or not, that's the truth of it. Abel says, after a loss, I always like to see how the Astros bounce back. Yeah, especially at home. Now that they're back at home, they had a day off. It's the beginning of a new series with a new team. How do they take it? Now they're down on the mat. I feel like it's if you look at the fighters, you got a strong fighter who's favored to win, and the first fighter got a couple of lucky shots in. We've kind of stumbled and fallen on the mat a couple of times. Wow, is that a catch? No. Line drive hit up the middle in the very first pitch by Hunter Brown. Karros gets a single. Jacob Melton dove for it. Was not able to come up with it. It bounced right before it got to his glove. Nice effort by Melton. Ryan Ritter comes to the plate with a runner on, no outs. Evan Gaddis, no batting gloves, no elbow or shin protectors, no rosin, just a giant of a man with a stick of wood. Yeah. In the dirt. You know, that's how Kyle Tucker used to kind of bat, right? He never used batting gloves for a while, but I think that after he started getting dinged up, he realized that he needed more protection. Crispy, with that comment, I'm going to put you in timeout for 10 minutes. Seriously, think about your comments right now. I don't want that kind of garbage in my chat. Right now you're just being emotional, and I can't have that. I'm sorry. I got to protect my chat and everybody else. So calm down. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch to Ritter. Oh, did he hit him? They say it got him on the hand. They're going to send him to first base. Hit by pitch. Now runners on first and second with no outs. Tyler Freeman, the leadoff batter, comes to the plate. Ooh, right on the back of the hand. That hit him nice and hard. That was not even a deflection. That was a dead stop hit. Boom. It hit him and went straight up. That had to be painful. But he's acting like it didn't hurt. Two runners on, no outs. First pitch to Freeman is on the way and he's bunting. He bounces it behind the plate, strike one. Gaddis also didn't seem like the kind of guy you'd want to mess with. Yeah, tough guy, right? Blue Devil says, same for the Astros, unless they play the Sox. I'm also an LSU fan, too. That's cool. Do you watch LSU football? I love me some LSU football. Whoops. I think I left that up there way too long. That's definitely going to be a copyright claim. And he shows bunt again, but lets it go. Way high. Ball one. 1-1. Hopefully the Rockies choke. Well, they've already scored 4 runs, so even if they don't score any more, I wouldn't call this a choke. Hunter Brown fakes the throw to second base. 1-1 is the count to Tyler Freeman, the leadoff batter for the Rockies. Runners on first and second here in the top of the 5th. Here comes the pitch. He shows bunt again. He does lay this one down. It's right to Hunter Brown. He looks around and then goes to first base. Seemed like he might have had an opportunity to go to second, but he decided to go to first base. So now runners are on second and third. You can judge for yourself. Did Hunter Brown have time to go to second? I think he did. I think Pena was covering, and he could have gone to second. That's my feeling, but whatever. I guess he didn't want to risk a throw to center field, so he held the ball. One down, and the next batter is Mickey Moniak. He fouls this one off. 97-mile-per-hour fastball, strike one. Daryl says, every day I see you, it always makes my day. Daryl. Oh, crazy. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Moniak. 96 above the zone, fouled off again. 0-2 is the count. Yeah, Ross, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Cough, cough. It's not time to pull Brown. I wouldn't say that. He's not doing that bad. Not yet. Here comes the 0-2. Ooh, he almost went on that high fastball, but it was a little too high to be competitive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, you do watch LSU football. That's pretty cool. Are they your favorite football team, or do you have another university team that you like? Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside, fouled away. Threw the bat out there at the changeup. Got lucky with the foul ball. Count remains 1-2. Brendan, I wouldn't say that the Astros are falling apart. What is with the sky is falling crap? Get that crap out of here. What is with you guys today? Not everybody. Most of you guys are really positive and upbeat. But a couple of you just drop in comments suddenly that like, oh my God, the sky is falling. These guys suck. We're never going to amount to anything. The Astros are blowing up like a nuclear bomb. It's going to destroy the earth. Are you kidding me? We're in the top of the 5th and we're down by 3 runs. Be quiet. Be positive. Don't be silly or I will put you in timeout. And I'm not kidding. I've already put one guy in timeout several times. 97 fouled off. Count is 2-2 to Mickey Moniak. Brendan, one more negative comment, man. I'm going to have to put you in a short-term timeout. Ayush. This is hit hard into left center field all the way to the wall, off the wall. And that'll score 2. Now it's unfortunately a problem. You are now hidden from this channel. I don't even know why I haven't. I think you changed your name is what it is, because I blocked you from this channel before, I believe. I got tired of your negativity. That's all you ever say. For those of you who don't know, Ayush is a guy who only says negative things. 6-1 Rockies on that double off the wall by Moniak. Josh Miller out on the mound with the infield and Hunter Brown having a little discussion. Fromber did it in 1 inning. It took Hunter Brown about 4.5 innings to get to 6 runs. Astros are down by 5, but still, I don't think that that's a big deal. If they were playing a really tough team, I'd be more concerned about the ability to come back. If you can't be positive right now, then you just should stop watching baseball. You should stop watching all sports. You should stop dealing with people. You should stop doing everything with everybody else and work out what's going on inside your heart, you know. To being negative is a personal thing, you know. Has nothing to do with anything on the outside. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 1 strike to Hunter Goodman. In the dirt, Caratini grabs it. Runner stays on second. 1 ball, 1 strike. NC State. I see. NC State. I was in Winston-Salem for about 1.5 years. Way, way back. Around 1999. I was going to go to a university up there and then change my mind. We wound up... When my wife wound up getting pregnant, it was unplanned, but we had some trouble with it because she didn't want to be pregnant. I was very excited about it. And we went back to Louisiana. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. 85-mile-per-hour knuckle curve. That was a good pitch. 2-2 is the count to Hunter Goodman. Runner on second with 1 out. We got 83 votes on the poll. I'm going to go ahead and close it now, and we'll see what happens. 43% say that Yordan will not have a dinger today. 24% say yes to right field. 16% yes to opposite field. Center field 15%. This is a tapper. Hunter Brown grabs it and throws it to first. Moniak goes to third base, but there are 2 outs now. I'm going to say that Yordan does get a home run today, but it's Oppo into the Crawford boxes. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go with the 16% group. Here comes the pitch. 96, low inside. Strike 1. Jordan Beck at the plate. 0-1 is the count. Well, they're not really bums. They might be the worst team in the MLB, but they're still an MLB team, so they got some pros on there. They got some guys who can do stuff, you know. Hunter Goodman batting .275. 98 up and in, swing and a miss. 0-2 is the count. Not everybody on the Rockies team is a bum. And anything can happen on any given day in a major league game. That ball's in the dirt, 1-2. There goes the world's parlay. That's funny. Yeah, that's right. That's funny, Ken. Caratini runs like he's pulling a trailer. Yeah, that's true. Here comes a pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hunter Brown gets another strikeout, but he gives up a couple more runs. It's 6-1. The Astros have a 5-run deficit to overcome. Very efficient with the hitting and scoring are the Rockies today. 5 hits and 6 runs. The Astros also have 5 hits, but just 1 run. 2 errors charged to the Stros so far today, costing them at least one of those runs. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Astros have 5 more innings of hitting to come up with some runs. No reason to really be worried. Well, you know, Zach, what you just said is the reason why betting is stupid. Betting is literally stupid. I mean, unless you're rich and you can just afford to throw away money and it's fun for you, it's a hobby for you, then in that situation, I think it's fine. But for most people are betting with the hope to win money because they want more money or they need more money. And anybody who bets because they need more money or they think they need more money or they want more money, those are the very people that shouldn't be betting. And it's because of stuff like this. If the Astros actually don't win this game and a ton of people all over the world lose on this game, whose fault is it? It's not the Astros' fault. Astros are just playing a game. It's the bettor's fault for being dumb enough to bet money on the games. Ross says stop betting on that. Stop betting on everybody. Stop betting on anybody. Just stop betting. Good grief. How hard is it? Just stop betting. Hello Astros. It's Hello Kitty night. This is probably why the Astros are hitting softly tonight, because they've got soft night in Daikin Park. Got guys wearing Hello Kitty uniforms or jerseys. 91 just below the zone against Jeremy Pena, called a strike. That was not a very hittable pitch. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Opposite field hit all the way out to the wall. That'll be down for a double. Pena is rushing around first base, and he will skate into second no problem. The very first, or second pitch, actually, the second pitch delivered right in the zone. Hit number 6 for the Stros. Right in the middle upper part of the zone. And that brings up Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa. Top of the batting order. Let's get it going. Yordan is in the hole. South Korea on the way. Here is the first pitch from Gordon. Right in there, 91 miles an hour. So, Flash gets on. Now, it's Correa's turn. And then, Altuve's turn. Tanner throws to second base. Pena goes back. The crowd boos. The curse of Bagwell. Here comes the pitch. This is hit high out into right field. I don't know if Pena will tag. Maybe not. He fakes. Not deep enough. One away. Correa flies out to right. Jose Altuve comes to the plate. Okay. So you weren't around in 99. My daughter was born in 2000. Hunter doing a Fromber. Yeah, he's maybe in between. He was doing well at first. And then when he goes and sits on the bench, Fromber goes and sits next to him and gets in his ear. And then he comes out and starts giving up runs. Jose Altuve at the plate. Here's the pitch. Little high. Ball 1. What? What? They called it a strike. Are you kidding me? Look at this. That was about 4 inches above the zone. I'm not kidding. 0-1. Umpire fail. Way outside. Are you sure that's not a strike, ump? 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you guys are right. You're giving the credit to the Rockies that they deserve. They are not a good team, but they are not just bums. It's ridiculous to just write these teams off as bums. These are MLB teams we're talking about. Anybody can win any day. Strike two to Altuve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena on second. Come on, Tuve. We need you, buddy. Here's a pitch. He hits this one to shortstop. I don't think that was a broken bat, but it seemed like it. A soft line drive. Altuve goes down, but that brings up Yordan. So we only have 1 runner on, but at least we do have one guy, a fast guy, the Flash, in scoring position for Yordan, the big man. Yeah, Hashman, you're a very honest guy. Way outside, ball 1. Hashman says, I'm addicted to betting. I don't suggest people to bet at all. Not good. Yeah, shoot. I mean, like, that's the thing. If you're doing what you can afford to throw away and it's just fun, fine. But like I said earlier, the people who are trying to make money, the people who need to make money or at least think they need to make money, and that's the way they're trying to do it, they don't need to be betting. Those are the people that do not need to be betting. Here's the 2 ball and no strike pitch to Yordan. Just a little outside, ball 3. Tanner is trying to get those edges, but Yordan is waiting for it. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. High, outside. 4-pitch walk. That's the second 4-pitch walk from Tanner Gordon. The crowd is booing. Yordan goes to first base. His second intentional walk of the game. Let's call it what it is. Christian Walker comes to the plate. We could make this a 2-run game with a little Crawford box visit. Walker has been hitting really hard recently. As you recall, in the Orioles series, he had 3 home runs in game 1, 2, and 3. Here comes the next pitch. A little low and outside, but in the zone for strike 1. You're right, Sam, about betting. Not betting more than you can afford to lose, but little low and outside, ball 1. 1-1 is the count to Walker. But the problem is, it's an addictive thing. It's addictive. It's like saying, you know, I like drinking, but I only drink, 1 or 2 drinks. I always limit myself. You can't drink more than you can afford to hold. But how many people can drink and stop? You know what I'm saying? How many people can smoke? I mean, smoking is automatically bad for you, but actually drinking is automatically bad for you because it's a poison. You know what I'm saying? It's similar, in my opinion. It's an addictive thing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ripped foul down the third baseline. 2-2 is the count on Walker. But anyway, that's all I'll say about betting. Do as you will. I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm just saying. That's my angle on it. Jimmy Herget is in the bullpen going for the Rockies. Tanner Gordon up to 80 pitches now. Walker at the plate with a 2-2 count. Pena on second. Yordan on first. He bounces this one foul down the third baseline. Come on, Walker. Yeah, new promotional night, soft night. It would be nice to get those 3 runs right here with Walker, wouldn't it, Hash? Here comes the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, bounces over. Catcher's able to keep it in front of him. The runners do not advance. The count is full. If Walker gets on base, we'll have loaded bases with Jesus Born in 2003, Devil. Wow. Young guy. Here's the pitch. Opposite field line drive into the crowd. Count remains full. Payne and Yordan were off to the races there. They get the head start. A dinger would be really nice, that's for sure. Here comes another full count pitch from Tanner. Nope, he comes off the mound instead and fakes a throw to second. The crowd boos heartily. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again. 95 in the bottom of the zone. Walker staying alive, making Tanner work hard. 84 pitches for Tanner. 49 strikes. 50 strikes now. Here comes a pitch. This is hit hard to left field. It's going to be caught by the left fielder. Line drive. Once again, a nice hard hit, just like Altuve. Hitting the ball really hard, but just not in the right spot. Astros have gotten unlucky with a few of their hits. Hitting the ball really hard, tagging it really hard, but it's just not landing in the right spot. Couple that with the Rockies putting some runs on the board, it's not a good combination. That's the end of 5. 6-1. The Rockies are winning in Daikin Park on Soft Night, otherwise known as Hello Kitty Night. 5 hits for the Rockies, 6 hits for the Astros, 2 errors charged to the STROS. Hunter Brown should be back up on the mound in just a moment. He is at 75 pitches with 51 strikes. Brenton Doyle due up, followed by Ezekiel Tovar and Warming Bernabel. Warming Bernabel. Yeah, Ken, that's the funny thing about baseball. The only professional sport where you can be successful 30% of the time and still be considered a success. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right, Blue Devil. What a catch that was, but dang, that was rough. Absolutely. Ken, you're spot on. The MLB didn't do anyone any favors by partnering with gambling places. I'm telling you, when you log on to ESPN or MLB or whatever, you're looking for sports. And what you see, you always see along with the scheduled game is the line, right? The gambling line. They have integrated them so closely. And I remember, now think about this. Pete Rose is gone, right? Don't you think that Pete Rose is not resting well in his grave? I understand that he broke some rules. I get that. Very first pitch comes into Brenton Doyle and he grounds out to Correa, who fires him out at first base. That was quick. 1 up and 1 down with 1 pitch. But you know, not being in the Hall of Fame for his mistakes as a manager when he was a phenomenal player, and then now if you look at the level to which betting has gotten to in the MLB, I just think it's really unfair to Pete Rose. That's my personal opinion. I'm not justifying his betting. I'm just justifying his performance on the field. That first pitch is high to Ezekiel Tovar. 1 out, nobody on. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the next pitch. That's too far inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Blue Devil, I am watching the game on MLB TV. They started offering it a couple of years ago in Japan to Japanese customers. Finally. Here's the pitch. That one was a little outside, but generously given by the umpire for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tovar. Well, Hashman, I don't have a problem with that opinion. Hashman says, I'm not going to lie, I don't want to be negative. This is looking cooked. Yeah, it does look cooked. This is hit high into left field, all the way out to the wall. Yordan is back by the wall. Yeah, wow, look at that. Yordan standing right by the wall. I thought that might go into the Crawford boxes. He literally stood by the wall and put his hand on the wall and made that catch. That was a towering shot, but it stayed in the park somehow. Out number 2. Warming Bernabel comes to the plate. First pitch to the Southern Belle. Fouled off at the plate for strike 1. But see, Hashman, what you said is a completely different. It's a completely different angle and emotion than what was being said earlier by a couple of the other guys. You said this is looking cooked. It's looking cooked. I'm not going to lie, it's looking cooked. There's nothing wrong with that. This is grounded to third. Correa scoops that one up, fires it over. Repeat of the first out. And that's 3 up and 3 down. Quick, easy inning for Hunter Brown, thankfully, here in the top of the 6th. We go into the bottom of the 6th. Astros due up again. Jesus Sanchez to lead it off, followed by Victor Caratini and Mauricio Dubon in the bottom of the 6th. But it's different. There's a big difference between somebody saying, I'm going to be honest, this game looks cooked, versus somebody who says, why do the Astros suck so bad? Why, there's no way we can win this game. This game is over. So somebody stating very directly and very clearly that the game is hopeless, this team is hopeless, their hitting sucks. These are direct negative comments. But when you talk about the way something appears, that's actually very different, because it is true. What you just stated is just a truth. This game looks cooked. It does. It looks bad. Hunter Brown has looked good at times and bad at times. And it doesn't look good for the rest of the game. It doesn't look like the Astros are going to be able to come back. These are just factual statements. But when somebody starts making what they think are factual statements, which aren't, there's no way the Astros are coming back. Hunter Brown sucks. Hunter Brown's the worst starter we have, etc., etc., etc. These are not statements of fact. They're just lashing out with their uncontrolled emotions, and those are the things that I can't allow in the chat. So I don't have any problems with your comments. Yeah, Blue Devil, that did look like it was going to be gone, especially the way Yordan was just standing there with his hand on the wall looking up, and then suddenly he makes the catch. Pretty crazy. Well, here's a little trick for you, Hashman. What's the difference between faith and belief? Here's the pitch to Sanchez. He rips this one down the first baseline on the first pitch, but it goes foul. 0-1. And what is the difference between belief and knowing? These are different levels. If you want to look at it from the highest form, you could say, I know the Astros can come back. I know they have the ability. I know they can. It's not up to me whether they do or not, but I know they can. Whether they do or not is up to them. And it's none of my business. So why would I worry about it? Why be negative about it? Useless for my life. 1 ball, 2 strikes with that foul ball. Come on, Jesus. Royals and Mariners both losing. What's the score of the Mariners game? I'll take a look at that in just a minute. Shoot. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Sanchez. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Up above the zone. I'm kind of surprised that they left Gordon in there But you know what? If he's not doing badly, why pull him out? He's up to 89 pitches. One away, and he will face the Batman, Victor Caratini. Let's go. Strikeout and a ground out for Caratini today. He goes after that first pitch and fouls it off. 92 right in the zone. Strike one. Yeah, that's a good question, Blue Devil. If the Astros sucked, why on earth are they 70-something wins against whatever losses they have? They look like one of the best teams in the league. They might not win this, but they're still fine. Yeah, I mean, look, they're still in first place in the division. This is hit into left field. Looks like he's going to fly out easily to the left fielder, and he does. Out number 2. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate. Last chance to get something going in the bottom of the 6th. The record for the Astros right now is 72-59, Blue Devil. First pitch in there for strike one to Doobie. I think my next emoticon, my next emoji will be the Doobie. This is hit out into center field. Center fielder gets it on the run, and that's out number 3. The Astros are 3 up and 3 down. Nothing doing for the Stros. Tanner Gordon wraps up with about 93 pitches or so. 6 innings of wonderful pitching. Give the man a hand. He deserves it. He came in with an ERA over 7. But he's thrown 92, 93 pitches, somewhere in there. 57 strikes. Astros have really hit it hard. They've hit a lot of balls. Not just grounders and flyouts, but man, they've really hit the ball hard off this guy. But got unlucky with placement. The problem for the Astros right now is left on base, and for those of you who haven't thought about this, I did make a video about this. Stranded left on base runners versus cumulative left on base runners, and I always give you the cumulative. In other words, how many runners were on base when a batter failed to do something positive at the plate. For example, today Altuve leads the Astros in 5 left on base. That means that when Altuve came to the plate, at some point when he came to the plate, there have been a total of 5 runners, base runners, and he was not able to get a hit or a walk or a hit by pitch or a sacrifice fly or an RBI or anything. Nothing positive. He wasn't able to actually do anything positive at the plate with 5 different base runners on. Okay, that's the stat that I use. This is much more important to me than stranded runners, because if you strand 3 runners at the end of an inning, what if you had 3 opportunities to bring them in? First pitch to Kyle Carros is fouled off for strike 1. Hunter Brown on the mound now with 83 pitches. So the Astros as a team right now have 10 left on base. It's not really bad. It's not good, but it's not really bad. But they have had opportunities, and a lot of the hits that they've almost gotten came with runners on base. They've hit the ball really hard with runners on base. They just haven't been able to get it in the empty spots, you know. 0-1 is the count to Carros. Here comes a pitch from Brown. Grounded to Pena. Pena fires it over to first. Out number 1. 84 pitches now for Brown. Eric, you don't try to be positive. You either are or you aren't. It comes from within, my friend. What decides your emotions? Outer people and circumstances, or your inner choice? There you go. Think about that. First pitch to Ritter is out of the zone for ball one. One out, nobody on. 1-0 pitch on the way. In the dirt, low and outside, 2-0. Thank you, Susan, for that update. Padres over the Mariners 5-0. I'm sad that the Padres didn't pull out that game against the Mariners. They should have won that one, right? Fouled off, 2-1. 94-mile-per-hour stinker. I don't really know what to expect from the Astros anymore, Hashman, actually. They get blown out at home by the Rockies, maybe even swept by the Rockies. It doesn't surprise me. And then they go sweep the Dodgers, or they destroy the Yankees. It doesn't surprise me. Swing and a miss on the inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with that stinker. 96 miles an hour. That was a nice pitch. Blue Devil says, never mind, the Sox have one more win, but also one more loss than the Astros. Yeah, so I guess pretty much even, right? But the Sox really came on. You know, my understanding is that the Red Sox have done phenomenally well at home, but have not had nearly as much luck on the road. Is that correct? Based on my knowledge. This is hit out into right field. Looks like it's going to be into foul territory, and it is. Count remains 2-2. Pretty low hitting game, though, despite the 6-1 score. 6 hits for the Astros, 5 hits for the Rockies. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Fouled off. I was hoping to say 2 away there. 90 pitches now for Hunter Brown. If he gets through this inning. Or not. It will be his last, I feel. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ritter. Here comes the toss. Ooh, just a little outside. Full count. Really? This is a ground ball to Correa on the full count pitch, and he fires it to first to get the out, and that's 2 down. 2 up and 2 down. Let's take a look. Yeah, I was right. Do you see this on the screen? 41-25 at home, 32-35. They have a losing record on the road. The reason that I knew that is because there's been some talk of the Red Sox doing some questionable things at home that they can't do on the road. You know what I'm saying? I'm just repeating what I heard, by the way. I'm not saying that they did or didn't do anything. Very first pitch to Freeman is a single into right field. And off that pitch, Espada immediately comes in and calls for a new pitcher. So that's going to be it for Hunter Brown. He doesn't make it through the 7th. 93 pitches for Brown. Top of the batting order for the Rockies, giving Hunter Brown giving him a rocky time. Mickey Moniak is due up. We're going to have ourselves our first relief pitcher of the game in just a moment. All right, Hashman. If we pick up 3 runs, then you'll believe. Okay. Historically, traditionally, the Astros have been a team that do a lot better in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but we'll see if they can relive that tradition today. Yeah, Blue Devil says, no surprise there, honestly. I'm curious what they're saying. The questionable thing is I'm talking about cheating. Sign stealing. Sign stealing. Specifically. But like I said, I'm only saying that because I've seen people, a lot of people say that. Because if you look at the record at home and then on the road, the success at home is phenomenal, and the record on the road is less than 500. They have a losing record on the road, and because of that, there's a lot of speculation as to why that is. And of course, a lot of people are pointing to the possibility of sign stealing. Now, stealing the signs doesn't necessarily equate to cheating, because, for example, if you have a runner on second base and he can see what they're calling, he can see what the pitcher's calling, and he can relay that to the batter, and then the batter gets a hit, that's not cheating. That's just stealing the sign legally. Stephen Okert is on the mound. 82 below the zone to Mickey Moniak. But I just learned the other day that in the Little League College World Series, even that type of sign stealing is illegal. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that because it happened recently twice in the same game, and the managers and the teams know those rules for sure. Hey, the runner is picked off. Look at that. They get him at second base. Fried Okert goes to first base. The good old lefty. Freeman, are they going to challenge it? Probably not. Nope, they're not going to challenge it. Okert ends the inning with a pickoff move to first base. Freeman tried to steal second base after the first pitch. Okert whips it over to first. Walker fires it to second. Pena puts the tag on, gets the out, the third out of the inning. That's what I'm talking about. Shut that down. 6 hits for the Astros and the Rockies at the end of the top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time. I'm going to get up and stretch my legs a little bit. How about you guys and gals? I need to do a little stretching, literal stretching. Kind of keep the blood flow going in my legs. Yankees beat the Nats 5-1. Well, that's unfortunate. But let them have their day. I'll be right back. Bottom of the 7th coming up with Jacob Melton, Jeremy Pena, and Carlos Correa. Go Astros. All right. Jacob Melton at the plate. First pitch on the way. He hits it way up in the air into right field. Second baseman is out. Puts it away. We're out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. New pitcher in the game. for the Rockies. Let me get my glasses on here so I can read the text. It's interesting because if I didn't need to read any text on the screen, I wouldn't need to wear these glasses, but the text is just too small for me. Jimmy Herget is in the game. He's now facing Carlos Correa. Oh, and I'm sorry. Carlos Correa is on deck. They were just showing Correa up close. It's actually Jeremy Pena at the plate. Ball 1 to Pena. Here comes the next pitch. On the inside, 93. Fouled at the plate. 1-1 is the count. Let's see here. Where's this pitcher's name? Jimmy Herget. There we go. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch. On the inside edge. 91 miles an hour, called a strike. Pena held up. Didn't really like it, but it was on the edge. Here comes a pitch. Way outside on the curveball. That curveball was so far out there. Looked like an out of control Swiffer. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big gap between the second baseman and the shortstop. It'd be nice if Pena could put it through there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Herget has number 44 like Yordan. Here comes a pitch to Pena. Way high, and it bounces off the glove of the catcher, goes to the backstop. Full count. I thought the Yanks were sign stealing at home too, says Blue Devil. I wouldn't doubt it. But you know what? I think all of the teams are doing it to a certain extent. Astros have been the only team to just become literally the trash can for receiving all the criticism. People won't let it go. It's nonsense considering how other teams have done just as bad or worse, and those things have just been forgotten about. Even the Dodgers. Dodgers have a cheating tradition. Considering all the money they spend, you'd think they'd be able to come up with winners without having to cheat. Here comes a full count pitch. Low and outside. Pena takes it for another on-base appearance. The Flash heads to first base. He does his part by getting on. Mr. Baseball. Normally I call Jake Myers Mr. Baseball, but since he's not here, I think that Correa is our resident Mr. Baseball right now. Here comes the first pitch. 91 on the inside edge. Strike 1. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Dodgers are big cheaters. Here's a pitch. A little too far inside. 1-1. Blue Devil says, I'm guessing the Yankees dislike follows here too. Could you rephrase that? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Here comes a pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Correa. Pena on first base with 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Geaux Hernandez. No, we didn't. We didn't cheat the Dodgers out of a World Series. What's this "we" stuff? You're not an Astros fan if you believe that. This is hit high in the air. The second baseman is back. That's 2 fly balls to the second baseman this inning. Like I said, you're not an Astros fan if you think that we cheated them out of a World Series. Look at how the Astros and the Dodgers played in Los Angeles. The Astros were clearly the better team and didn't need any cheating. Only a very small minority of Astros utilized the cheating, and it was only done in Houston. Superman is at the plate. Speaking of cheating, this man right here never cheated. In case you don't know that. He refused to cheat, but he gets booed every time he comes to the plate if he's not playing at home. I'm not saying that the Astros, not all of them, but some of the Astros didn't cheat. Altuve tries to bunt, but fouls it off. 0-2 is the count. Pena at first base, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Come on, Altuve. Instead of a bunt, how about a Crawford box visit? All teams cheat, Hernandez. All teams cheat. Here's the pitch. Pena's stealing. Terrible throw. That ball was way outside, but the catcher couldn't really do much to make a good throw there since that pitch was so far outside. Pena gets a stolen base. He had to lunge out there and throw a sidearm throw, but nowhere near the base. Pena was safe in there easily. So, Pena is now in scoring position. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Altuve. A buzzard? You mean a buzzer. A buzzard is a bird. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Way outside again, 2-2. Hashman, I don't recommend that, but do as you will. Here's the pitch. 87 up and inside, called a strike. Altuve goes down looking. That was not a really good pitch to swing at, but it was close enough to the zone to be called strike 3. And that's it for the Astros in the 7th. We've got 2 more innings to go of baseball. Baseball. Or you can say in Japanese, yakyu. That's how you say baseball in Japanese, yakyu. For those of you who didn't know that. Of course, in Japan, if you say baseball, baseball, they'll understand what you're talking about. They know that word. Japanese style, baseball. But yakyu is the Japanese word for baseball. So there you go. Learn something new every day. Yeah, I will say, Mr. Hernandez, if you want to put a bunch of comments in the chat, try to limit the amount of comments instead of just going boom, 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 boom. Try to make it a little less intrusive. And remember to stay positive, because if you start dumping a bunch of negative stuff in the chat, then you will get a timeout. Just letting you know. Stephen Okert likely will be still in the game. He only had 1 pitch before he picked off the runner at first base to end the 7th inning, the top of the 7th. If he's still in the game, he'll be facing Mickey Moniak, assuming they do not have a pinch hitter, and I don't believe they will. I do have to say, though, I'm amazed whenever I see these videos where they're showing the people walking around and cheering the team in Dyking Park. It's not just Dyking Park, it's every park. Okert is on the mound. He is facing Mr. Moniak. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the next pitch. Low and outside, ball 2. But no matter where they are, which park they're in, whenever they start showing people walking around in the park and cheering in the park, and the spectators all around the park, I'm shocked. It's like reverse culture shock to me, because I've been in Asia now for so long. This is hit high in the air to right. Jesus Sanchez underneath it. puts it away for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down. Hunter Goodman is due up. But anyway, what I was saying is, I've been living in Japan now for over 5.5 years. I lived in China for about 7 years. And whenever I see the video of all the people in the stands and in the park, I'm like, man, everybody looks like they weigh 500 pounds. High and outside. This is why I say it's like a reverse culture shock to me. I'm not used to seeing so many people so big. Not anymore. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hunter Goodman. Goodman had a home run earlier. Two-run shot, actually. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Way inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blue Devil asks, I believe Altuve wish he hadn't gotten the hate he got. He didn't deserve it. And he's still getting it. It's not even past tense. He's still getting a lot of hate. It's never stopped. This is fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Goodman. But my question is, do you dislike the Yankees and how much? Blue Devil, of course I don't like the Yankees. I don't like their fan base most of all. Their fan base is toxic. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I can tolerate the Red Sox fan base a lot better than I can the Yankees. I don't consider the Red Sox... I mean, I think the Red Sox fans are passionate. And sometimes maybe they can go a little too far. But generally, they don't bother me. But the Yankees fans are just... There are too many toxic fans. Strike 3, swing and a miss. Okert gets the strikeout. 2 down. Nobody on. But as far as the Yankees themselves, like the team and stuff, I mean, they are one of the most famous organizations. And they're an old organization. Quite famous. I respect all that. The traditions and everything. Swing and a miss. Jordan Beck at the plate. Strike 1. The count's 0-1. But the thing about the Yankees is that they think there's a rivalry between Astros and Yankees, and there's not. This is nice. A little grounder. Spin move by Okert. He grabs it. Did you see that? What a nice move there by Steven Okert. A little fried Okert served up. He spins around, grabs the ball, throws it to first for out number 3. How about that? Fried Okert. Served up nice and hot. 3 up and 3 down. So Okert has retired 3 batters, but you could say it's not really 4 batters in a row because he picked off the guy at first base, but he has gotten 4 straight outs. You can say that. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yordan Alvarez due up, followed by Christian Walker and Jesus Sanchez. I'm calling back-to-back-to-back homers to bring us within 2 runs. But yeah, actually, I used to have a friend he's a what you call ABC, American-born Chinese. He was born and raised in New York City. He talks like a New Yorker. He just looks Chinese. And he's from southern China. Big Yankees fan, very big Yankees fan. And he and I were friends for a long time. We met in South China. We became friends. And he actually helped me out a lot to help me get into school here in Japan to study Japanese. I mean, we'd been friends for like 11 years. And then just suddenly, earlier this year, he didn't like the way I changed my spiritual beliefs. He's a very, I guess you could say, he's anti-religion, anti-spiritualism, anti-everything that's not science, you know. But up until that point, we were always able to get along and talk about baseball, talk about the Yankees, talk about the Astros. But one day he got very upset with me because he mentioned the rivalry between the Astros and the Yankees. And I said, what rivalry? And he just looked at me. He goes, What do you mean, what rivalry? There's a very strong rivalry between the Astros and the Yankees. And I said, no, there's not. And he got very upset about that. And I said, I think I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is, from the point of view of a Yankees fan, the Astros are a rival because of what they've done to kick the Yankees out of the playoffs year after year. But from the Astros point of view, the Yankees have never been a threat. So the relationship is out of balance. A rivalry is different. The Yankees have never been able to get up on the Astros. And he got very angry about that. But I was just saying the truth. How many Astros fans do you know that really, really hate the Yankees because the Yankees are a rival, or the Yankees have done us wrong, or the Yankees have caused us to miss playoffs or the World Series? Because that doesn't exist. Astros don't like the Yankees primarily because of their fans. The fans make the whole system toxic. So that's my soapbox about the Stankies, or the Wankies, or whatever you want to call them. 95 right in there. Yordan at the plate now with a 2-2 count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Luis Peralta. Uh-oh, left field all the way. Almost! Oh, almost. He puts it into the stands on the left side. It wasn't too far from the Crawford boxes. Count remains 2-2 against Yordan. Come on, Yordan. You can do it, buddy. Oh, he's licking his lips. He's licking his lips. Here's the pitch from Peralta. Way high. Well, give Peralta some credit. You know, he's trying to pitch to him. He's trying to pitch to him. Bless his heart. Full count. Nobody on, no outs. Here's the pitch to the big man. He hits that one hard again to left field. Way up high and out of play. Count remains full. Blue Devil says, I'm really starting to like the Astros as a team, man. My wife has made me a fan after talking trash about them for so long. That's why, as a Red Sox fan, I send my love, win or lose. I appreciate that, because you got a brain. Obviously, you have a brain. Yordan bounces this one to shortstop, and they throw him out at first base, so he grounds out. 1 away, and Christian Walker comes to the plate. You know, all of these people, all of these stadiums full of fans who boo Altuve whenever he comes to the plate, they're just stupid. You can't even get them to explain why. They just say, he's a cheater, he cheated. They don't know anything. Walker fouls off that first pitch for strike 1. The only Astros fan I know is my wife. You know, I'm interested to see what she says. If she understands the rivalry, supposedly the rivalry between the Yankees and the Astros that I do, then she'll probably say the same thing. Yeah, I don't consider the Yankees a threat. We own them. We own the Yankees. In order for a team to be your rival, they have to get over on you sometimes, and the Yankees do not get over on the Astros. So therefore, they are not a rival. I think she would agree with that. Yes, Ken, you asked if I have any opportunities or chances to see the Japanese games. Hiroshima, I'm here in Hiroshima, and they do have a professional team here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Christian Walker. That ball was up and outside. 1 out, nobody on. Caleb Ward is warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Low and in the dirt, almost got his foot. 2-2 is the count. But yeah, Ken, the Hiroshima Carp, they're not doing so well right now. They started off really, really well the first part of the season, and they were in second place overall. Walker grounds that one foul down the third baseline. The count stays 2-2. So they started off, it's the same as last year right now. The Carp started off doing really well and then just started struggling, and that's what they've been doing right now. They're down now to like 13th in the league, but they were in the top 2. So here's a pitch. Little check swing. Did he go? They say he did not swing. It's a full count. But I've only been to actually one of their games, Ken. Oh. Walker says it hit him on the foot. Walker took his legging off and started walking to first base on the full count pitch. But he says it hit him on the foot. Oh, it did hit him. Yeah, it did. It's clear. Okay. So the Astros managed to get the challenge in. They're going to take a quick review of it. The pitcher's like, hey, that's ball 3, not ball 4. But Walker said, no, it hit me on the foot. Okay, yeah, Houston is challenging the call. They're saying that he was hit by pitch. He clearly was on the review, so we should have Walker on first base with 1 out. And Jesus Sanchez at the plate in just a moment. We'll see. Pretty clear if you look at the replay. Both angles show it. Now the first base umpire said he didn't swing, so he got lucky there. That would have been strike 3. I'd like to go to more games, Ken, but because of health and monetary reasons, I don't go. But I want to see more. Eric, that's a funny way to look at it. Yep. Houston retains the challenge. It is a hit by pitch. Walker is on first base. Runner on with 1 out. Jesus Sanchez comes to the plate. So Sky Walker gets on, but Ramon Urias comes to the plate. Urias is pinch hitting for Sanchez. But what Eric said is funny. He says, it's not a rivalry if you wish you played them 162 games a year like I do. That's exactly right. And that's basically what I told my friend, and I told him as politely as I could. I wasn't like rubbing in his face or saying, no, man, no. You know, I wasn't saying anything to make him upset or rub it in his face, but I was telling him very directly, you know, Astros fans are more than happy to play the Yankees anywhere, especially in New York. This first pitch is hit out to left field, all the way out to the wall. It's caught in the corner, right at the wall. Wow. The very first pitch was driven so deeply by Urias, but it just comes up short, a couple of feet from the wall. Urias makes a bid for a homer, but he doesn't even get it 366 feet to the wall. So close. Out number 2. Runner remains on first base, Walker. And now the Batman, Victor Caratini, comes to the plate batting righty. First pitch is outside. Wow. That was 3 inches outside, a curveball called a strike. And that's coming from a left-hander, guys. Fouled off, strike 2. This umpire has hurt us with a couple of calls. Most of the game he's been all right, but a couple of calls have not worked out. .96 below the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Caratini. Blue Devil says she got into baseball this year, hates the Yankees as much as I do. Well, you're a Red Sox fan, so I know you hate the Yankees. I don't think there's any other team you hate more than the Yankees. If you're a true Red Sox fan, it must be the #1 hate, right? Caratini hits out into center field, but it curves a little bit, and the center fielder has to come back on it, but he's able to make it. Another unlucky opportunity missed for the Astros. We're done with 8 innings of ball. 6-1. Astros are down going into the top of the 9th. Caleb Ort will likely be back on the mound on the mound for the Astros. Oh, I forgot to change the picture to Ort. Stephen Okert earlier. No big deal. No harm, no foul. Commercial break in progress. Do you think? Yeah, you're right, Ken. Dodger fans are insufferable. I grew up with my brother as being a Dodgers fan. Now, I know that not all Dodgers fans are narcissists and not all of them are bad people, but they do that organization tends to attract very narcissistic people. And think about this. I was born in Shreveport, and when I was just a little baby, we moved to Houston, my mom's hometown. That's where all of her family was. My dad got a job at Armco Steel. My brother actually was the product of another man. So if you back up to when my mom was in high school, she was a beautiful cheerleader. I wish I had a picture of her, but she was a beautiful cheerleader. Way out of my dad's league. He was just an uneducated country boy. But my mom's high school sweetheart got her pregnant right after graduation, basically, from high school. And he took off. Right after my brother was born, my mom and dad got married. Nobody in the family knew this stuff. I found out this stuff years later. So my brother is actually only my half brother. My dad gave him his name, and then a year later I was born. So I was my dad's first son. Caleb Ward on the mound. Here's the pitch. 97 right in there, strike one. Brendan Doyle. Dubon is out in right field now. Urias is in at second. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Woo, man. Right at the bottom of the zone, but doesn't get the call. The 97 mile per hour fastball. Should have given that one to us. 1-1 is the count. But anyway, the reason I told you all that stuff is because you can see that we had nothing to do with Los Angeles. We were never in California. We were far from it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brenton Doyle. Caratini taking a little break after that ball bounced off of his mask. But my brother, from a very young age, decided to select the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Los Angeles Dodgers as his 3 teams. And of course, back then, these were the top teams. These were considered the best teams, right? These are teams with tradition, and they were at the height of their game. And that's what my brother wanted, because he's a super narcissist. He didn't care about local teams. He went after the best teams. And I was the all Houston guy. Went all in on the Oilers, the Rockets, the Astros. And when the Oilers left, my heart was broken and I stopped caring about the NFL. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Nice swing. They say he went around. Are you kidding me? No. They say he did not go around ball 2. That ball was in the dirt. Nasty curveball. I want to see a replay. That looked obvious that he went around. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brenton Doyle. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Can't call that a check swing there. Strike 3. 1 down for Caleb Ort here in the top of the 9th. Astros have one more opportunity coming up in just a moment. Got to have a big 9th inning. Phillies fans are also pretty bad, Ken. But my impression is that Yankees fans and Phillies fans are haters. Dodgers fans are definitely haters, but they are also entitled. They just automatically assume that they're going to be in the World Series every year. If they're not, then it just breaks their world apart. This next pitch is in the dirt, 1-1 with that Swiffer. Ezekiel Tovar at the plate facing Caleb Ort. If you're not a Yankees fan, you really hate them. I think everybody hates the Yankees. 98 below the zone. That's a nice steamer. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, I can believe that, Blue Devil. It's much easier for a Red Sox fan to be a Dodgers fan than to be a Yankees fan. Way outside on the fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike to Tovar. 1 out, nobody on. I know that Yankees and Red Sox fans hate each other, basically. Astros fans have grown to really, really dislike certain teams, but that's mainly division rivalry and in-state rivalry. 98 miles an hour up and in, ball 4. Tovar gets walked. 3 straight non-competitive pitches from Ort. Runner on first with 1 out. Warming Bernabel. Warming Bernabel comes to the plate. Here comes the pitch. 97 on the outside. Called a strike. 0-1. Yeah, but it makes sense, Blue Devil. I mean, I don't think that Red Sox fans are entitled. I think Red Sox fans are more balanced. They realize that they've got a good tradition, a good baseball team, good baseball city, and they expect things out of their team, but they don't have this entitled attitude that you get in New York and in Los Angeles. That ball's fouled behind the dugout for an 0-2 count against Bernabel. But you seem like a nice guy. If you come into the Astros chat and you're fans of some other teams and you're not bashing the Astros, you're actually being more positive than some of the upset Astros fans right now. 98, swing and a miss, above the zone, strikeout on the heater. Ort gets out number 2. Go sit down, boy. Next batter is Kyle Carros. 2 for 3 today. See, this is, look at this hitter. He's batting .306 for the season. He's 2 for 3 tonight. .833 OPS. How can you call all of these guys bums? It's just not possible. 96 on the outside edge. Strike 1. He calls a little timeout. Dyking Park is really silent right now, and the crowd is just largely emptied out. It is a school night after all, even though Hello Kitty Night drew everybody out. It wasn't enough to hold them in. Astros have let them down. Swing and a miss. 0-2 is the count. Yeah, why not? But my question is, if the Red Sox and the Astros meet in a playoff game, how do you handle that? Maybe what you should do is you should root for the Astros and she should root for the Red Sox. That would be the deep love way of doing it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to Kairos. Nice! Ort gets the swing and a miss on the 84-mile-per-hour Swiffer. So good, solid performance. The Astros relievers have just locked it down. 4 straight innings with no runs on the board. So look at that. Hunter Brown, technically he's responsible for 6 runs on the board, but the relievers have shut it down through 4 straight innings for the Stros. Astros last chance. We need a big inning. Only got 6 hits. Let's see, we need 5 runs to tie it up, 6 runs to win. So that means we need 6 more hits. 6 hits, 6 runs, and walk it off here in the 9th inning. Mauricio Dubon is due up, followed by Jacob Melton and Jeremy Pena, unless there are some pinch hitters, and depending on who's pitching for the Rockies, there just might be. Oh, tell her I said hello. And go Stros. It's interesting. And I'm also, you said she just started being a fan this year. She's brand new. I know it doesn't look like it, but this year I turned 50. I've been a fan ever since I was old enough to watch TV. Nearly 50 years I've been an Astros fan. When I lived in Houston, I actually got to see them play the Dodgers and the Cubs in the Astrodome. We saw a few games in the Astrodome. And whenever I was about 7 or 8, we moved to Shreveport, moved back over there in that area, and then immediatthen to Mansfield, and then to Carmel, and then to let's see, where else did we move? Then we moved maybe back to Mansfield. Then we moved to Grand Cane. We moved all over the place as my dad was trying to find work. He was just working factory shutdown after factory shutdown, moving all over Hell's Creation, as they say. Juan Mejia is in the game, pitching now for the Rockies, the Dirty Rockies. First pitch to Doobie is up and inside, ball 1. Come on, Doobie. 1-0 is the count. 6 hits, 6 runs. That's all we need. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Yeah, everybody says I don't look 50, especially, I mean, right now I've got a little bit of hair on my face. I look older when I grow my hair out, but whenever I shave, everyone says I have a baby face. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Fouled off. I also have a young spirit. There are things about me that are I guess you could say mature, but like I'm a very philosophical and deep thinking person, but at the same time I'm also very young in spirit. 98 below the zone, 3-1 to Dubon. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4. Doobie starts it off with a 5-pitch walk. Good job, relief pitcher. Jacob Melton on deck, coming to the plate right now. Astros top of the batting order, licking their lips. Yordan Alvarez thinking about what he's going to do when he gets to the plate. Here's the pitch to the former Blade Rogers. That's in there, 97 miles an hour, strike 1. Doobie on first base with no outs here in the bottom of the 9th. What will the Astros do today? Here comes the toss. Ooh, 98 right in there, swing and a miss. I wonder how many viewers and likes we have. What's the ratio? Let me take a quick look. Here comes the next pitch to Melton. He hits this one on the ground. It might be a double play. And nope, they don't get it, thankfully. Doobie's thrown out at second base, but Melton is safe at first base. So we keep our runner at first with 1 out for Pena. Yeah, if you guys could switch pull and field the team for a little while, that would be fun, I think. 2 for 3 today with a single, a double, a walk, and a steal. Pena not having a bad day, but not an amazing day. Not enough to get the Astros on the board. Low and outside, ball 1. 82 people watching the live stream and 72 likes. Well, I think right now the likes are looking good, but I'm pretty sure that we had a lot more viewers earlier today, so the likes need to be over 100. That's on the edge for strike 1, 1-1 to Pena. If you have not liked the live stream, please do so now, and I appreciate you in advance. If you have not subscribed, you're welcome to do so. Here's the 1-1. Pena fouls it off, 97 just below the zone. 1-2 is the count. If any of you are feeling saucy and want to support the channel, There are multiple ways to donate. If you go through YouTube, that's welcome, but they do take a huge cut, 30%. If you want to donate through PayPal or buy me a coffee, you can do that too. I haven't plugged that at all during this whole game, but I'm just letting you know it's out there. And I do offer also 3 membership tiers. If you want to join with a monthly subscription on YouTube, you can. It's very, very cheap. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jeremy Pena. But you can also do a subscription through PayPal, and I'll get more of that money because they only take like 3%. 99 above the zone. Jeremy Pena strikes out. So Media cranks it up to 98 and goes into the top. No, 99 goes into the top of the zone there, right above the top of the zone. Pena can't get the bat around fast enough. Carlos Correa comes to the plate. Are we going to get more than 6 hits this game? Or is this going to be it? Are the Astros going to go quietly into the night? 99 outside, ball 1. Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do. If I were married and my wife was a big fan of another team and they played each other, I think it'd be fun for us to switch and pull for the other team. It'd be a fun thing to do. Pitch is high, 98 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes to Correa. How about we load up the bases for Alvarez and he just brings us within a run. Even with a grand slam, it only brings us within 1 run. 97 right on the outside edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, it does. Doesn't it, Doug? Even the bad teams, they bring in a guy in the end and he throws 100 miles an hour. What's with that? And his ERA is basically 4. Here comes the next toss. That's in there, 98. So Correa takes 2 balls and then 2 strikes. 2-2 is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. Here comes the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No. They say he did not. Full count. Of course, it's full count. All right, last chance for Correa. Here comes the pitch. 98 on the outside, fouled away. He has another last chance coming. Is he going to do something? That's the question. Come on, Correa. I know you can do it. Here's the 3-2 pitch. High, ball 4. So we have 2 runners on now, first and second, with Superman Altuve coming to the plate. Pitching coach wants to come out. He's done this twice with Altuve at the plate before. Infield, and the pitching coach comes out to have a little chit-chat. Altuve not having a good game today from the DH position, contributing essentially nothing to the Astros. He has actually hurt the Astros the most when it comes to batting today, because not only does he have no hits, no walks, none of that, he has left 6 runners on base. The Astros have left a total of 16 opportunities on base, and 6 of those are Altuve. So Altuve basically is responsible for 40% of the Astros' stranded runners this game. See if he can turn it around right here. Batting .274 for the season. His batting average has slipped a lot. He held it over 300 for a while. Very first pitch, he flies out to center field. It is out there, and he's under it. And that's going to be it. 6-1 is the final score, and you guys and gals know that my tradition is not to spend too much time on the on the scoring summary, because the Astros only scored one time. That was a home run in the second inning. I'll show you right here. Home run, solo home run by Jesus Sanchez in the second inning put the Astros on the board and gave them the lead. And after that, there was nothing. The third inning and the fifth inning, the Rockies scored. The third inning was the big inning. The beginning of the big innings. Freeman grounded out, scored a run. Moniak singled, scored a run. Goodman homered, scored 2 runs, 4-1. Moniak doubled to center in the fifth, 6-1, and that's where the score would remain. Let's take a look at the Astros pitching. Man, just a sad performance by the bats, because Hunter Brown was the main problem today. Second problem was Astros not getting any scoring done. Stranding runners on base. As you see right here, Hunter Brown's stats are right here. 6.2 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits. That's not bad. It's not stellar, but he was charged. He was charged with just 2 runs. Can you believe that? He was just charged with 2 runs. And no other pitcher is charged with runs. There are actually 4 runs on the board that are considered not earned runs. That's nuts. So the runs that are on the board supposedly make Hunter Brown look a lot worse than it was, but actually I believe that these runs are all on him. They gave Pena 2 errors earlier. And at first, they were debating it. They said 2, then they gave him 1, then they later changed it to 2. I don't agree with either one of those. I don't think that he earned any errors. I think that was all on Brown. But whatever. 7 strikeouts is not bad in 6.2 innings. Not a single walk. If you actually look at these stats, look at this. 6.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 7 Ks. It's like, wow, he did a really good job. But why are there 6 runs on the board? Well, supposedly because of errors. But I disagree. Hunter Brown did not have a good day today. He had one particular inning where he broke down and gave up 4 runs, and that was the main reason the Astros lost. The second reason was because we couldn't score any runs when we managed to put guys on base. Okert pitched 1.1 innings, did really well. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Caleb Ort, 1 inning pitch, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So we had solid performance from Ort and Okert. Just that 1 inning. That's all it took, that 1 inning, for the Rockies to light up Hunter Brown. That's my problem with this game. My problem is even though the Astros bats were bad in this game, I'm not going to complain about that so much. I'm going to say that without Hunter Brown pitching good against the Rockies in Dykene Park, we've got a problem. If I'm not mistaken, whenever they played in Colorado, Hunter Brown also did terribly bad. Actually, we can take a look at that. Let's go back and take a look at that. I want to make sure that my memory serves me correct. Let's go back to the 2025 first half schedule. Colorado, where is it? Here it is right here. No, okay, he got the win. Let's take a look at that game. How did that game go? Let's take a lookie. Okay, so Hunter Brown went 6 innings in this game against the Rockies. Gave up 6 hits. It's basically the same, right? He went 6 innings. Today he went just a little more than 6. He gave up 6 hits then. He gave up 6 hits today. Had 2 earned runs then. Had 2 earned runs today. 1 walk then. No walks today. 8 strikeouts. Then I think today he had 8 or 9. The stats look very, very similar. The only difference is that he actually gave up more than just 2 earned runs, in my opinion. He gave up 6, but it doesn't show as 6. So I remembered this incorrectly. Who was it that pitched bad against the Rockies? It was this game? Was it Fromber? Might have been. No, Walter. But Walter, yeah, okay. Okay, Walter is the one that broke down that game. He gave up 5 runs. But he ultimately didn't get the loss. He got lucky in that game. So it was Walter that broke down that series, not Brown. My bad, but still, you know what I'm saying. Brown didn't perform amazingly well, but he got the job done last time. This time, I think he didn't have any excuse. It's much easier to hit the ball in Colorado, right? So why did they just suddenly light him up in this game? I don't quite understand. It's like he regressed. So let's do the quick preview for tomorrow's game. The Rockies will be back in Daikin Park tomorrow at the same time, and I will be here, God willing. Fromber Valdez on the mound tomorrow. That means we lose, right? Fromber really needs a good, solid game. 7 innings with no runs allowed. That's what Fromber needs. Chase Dollander is on the mound for the Rockies. Another 7 ERA guy. 82 innings pitched, 94 hits, 68 strikeouts, 40 walks, holy cow, and 16 homers. So this guy is giving up, he's getting not enough strikeouts. He's giving up a walk basically every other inning on average. 16 homers, 94, more than 1 hit per inning. Overall, the Astros should light him up, right? You'd think. We'll see. And Valdez, well, who's going to show up tomorrow? The guy who wants that bag at the end of the year, or the guy who wants to continue bleeding money? Because right now, Fromber Valdez is bleeding money from his future contract. The ESPN matchup predictor says the Astros have a 79% chance of winning. That means if you bet on the Rockies, you will win. These matchup predictors at ESPN are a joke. They're almost never right. I remember they said that the Dodgers were going to beat the Astros 73% chance, and then the Astros destroyed them. It was pretty funny. Who cares about that? Let's take a look at the scoreboard. What's going on around the league? Bubba says, thanks for keeping us posted. Better game next. I hope so. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you, Blue Devil, for being here. I believe we win tomorrow, too. And tell your wife I said bye and go STROS. Let's take a look at what's going around the league. The Padres are beating the Mariners 5-0 in the 5th inning. So there's some good news. Let's see here. Let's move down. The Tigers losing to the A's in the 3rd inning, 5-4. How about that game? Come on, A's. Go A's. Red Sox beat the Orioles. Let's see here. Let's go down a little further. Anything else of note? Nationals let us down on the Yankees. Hey, look at that. The Twins beat the Blue Jays. Unfortunately, it seems like whenever the Blue Jays lose or the Tigers lose, we're not able to capitalize on it. We really need to win whenever those guys lose, right? Speaking of the Tigers, did they play or were they off? It looks like they were off. No big deal. Rangers beat the Angels. They are now 500. Welcome back to 500 level, Rangers. Do you feel special now? 67-67. That's it for today, guys and gals. That's all I've got for you. Somebody just hit the grand salami somewhere. Let me update the scoreboard and see what it says. Maybe in the Diamondbacks Brewers game, because bases were loaded in the 9th and the game was tied. Maybe it's this one. Let's take a look. There's a good chance of it. They've got bases loaded in the 9th inning. The Brewers do. Maybe it was them. It's possible. This game doesn't affect us, though. I love how everybody just keeps bashing the Brewers and talking about them being pretenders. But, of course, you know, when it gets into the playoffs, you got to prove yourself. But anybody who says that they're not a good team, I don't understand that. I mean, if the Astros were playing like they were playing this whole time, would they be calling the Astros pretenders? No, they would say clearly the Astros are the team to beat. Let's see, let me refresh this. No data has changed on the screen. They must have had a pitching change because this data hasn't changed. Let me go back and refresh the scoreboard here and see if anything has changed. I don't see any other games that could have been. All these others are finalized. The only game still going right now are the Dodgers and Reds, the A's and Tigers, the Giants and Cubs, Padres and Mariners, Diamondbacks and Brewers. Oh well, no big deal. I guess we'll find out later. Yeah, you're right, Bubba. The Brewers ain't messing around. I'm tired of hearing even Astros podcasts talking about how the Brewers are pretenders. They're just hating. We don't need that. Just give them the respect they deserve. They're lighting it up, and the Astros aren't. It's as simple as that, you know. Still Viper. Holy cow, I appreciate that. First super chat of the day. Thank you so much for that. Steel Viper with the save. There we go. That was a hater-style save. Steel Viper says, we'll get them next time. Prayers and good health to everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the same, as always, goes to you and to everyone else. My prayers, my best wishes, my love, all of those positive good things to all of you. I might have to take a break today. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do too much with the heat wave going on right now. I might go find a restaurant to sit in and enjoy the air conditioner for a while until it gets cooled off. It's about 12 o'clock. And I really need to cool down. Even just sitting here with the fans on me, I'm still hot. Wearing this hat and the headphones, it gets hot. I do apologize for the Astros not showing up today with the bats, especially with Yordan back. But it is what it is. We'll be back tomorrow. It takes a little rust. Shake off the rust. Get things gelling again. And we'll be okay. But once again, thanks to all the likes, the shares, the comments, all of that good stuff. And of course, extra special thanks to Steel Viper for that super chat. Thank you so much. It is more appreciated than I know how to express. Yeah, Bubba. Nightbot. It has a mind of its own sometimes. I try to keep the settings low enough to where they're kind of fair, but just kind of limit what seems to be spam, but it's difficult sometimes to find the sweet spot. Still Viper, you too. You have a great day too. Thank you for being here. And Still Viper says I've been working long hours as of late, but I'll try to make it in early tomorrow. Okay. I hope so. I will do my very best to be here. As always, if for some reason I am not here, it is because I probably had to go take a visit to the hospital. But otherwise, I'm right here with all of you. Absolutely. Still Viper's leading the charge in August, that's for sure. You got the high OPS over 1.0. Your OPS is way up there. Absolutely. Hitting big for the Geaux STROS channel. Thank you so much. And the community. Anyway, that's it. All I have left to say as usual is Geaux STROS. And I will see you tomorrow's. Yep, that's right, Casey. Win some, lose some. See you for Game 2 tomorrow against the Rockies at home in Dykeem Park. Until then, have a good one, okay? Good day, good afternoon, good evening. Bye-bye for now.